Hi guys, just thought I'd make a quick little demon rundown video. Gonna break down the different types of demons, how to play the demon, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, and just the general kind of basic guide of how to get started, familiarize yourself with the game, and overall have fun. So let's get into it. Okay, first up you have the Necromancers. These guys are the guys from Army of Darkness. If you've ever seen that film, you should. It's really good. They start off with three units. You got the basic unit, which are your skeletons with the spears and the swords. Pretty easy to kill, but they can pack a punch if you're not careful. Then you have your elite unit. This guy is a big brute of a guy with a big spear. Can throw his spear at you. Also very dangerous and can do a lot of damage if you're on your own. And then you have Evil Ash, which is your boss unit. This is the guy that you get to spawn in as straight away. Do a lot of damage, packs a punch. Kind of like the Darth Vader of the Evil Dead films. Oh, well, of the Evil Dead game. You can walk up to people, press 3 on the keyboard. Don't know what way it would be on the console, and you kind of lift them up, start sucking out their life force. You take their, if you're injured, you take their life force. You also injure them, and the only way for the survivors to get it to stop is to hit you enough so that you drop them. Obviously, this attack doesn't last for too long. It has about 3 second, 4 second animation time. Might be a little bit less than that, but it's still quite deadly. He also has a basic attack and a heavy attack, both of which do a lot of damage if you're not careful. He has the ability to reanimate any dead units in the area that die in a certain radius, and he's quite a formidable foe if you're not prepared. These guys are incredibly fun to play in my experience, especially with their units that they have. They also have a support type unit, which when you spawn in your normal units, you spawn the support unit in, gives them a bit of a buff, and it makes the gameplay a little bit better. Makes it easier for you to do damage to the survivors, and they're overall a very good unit to play. Okay, so next up you have the Warlords. These guys consist of a basic unit, elite unit, and a boss unit. The boss unit is a specialist in zoning players using an AoE effect, which is conveniently a gas cloud caused by Granny over there farting, releasing a big pile of toxic gas, similar to the Boomer in Left 4 Dead 2, except from it doesn't draw deadites towards you, it just does damage over time. She also has an ability to grab onto you, similar to that of the Necromancer, except from this time Granny grabs you, motorboats you, and does damage over time. Okay, so last up we got the Puppeteers. These guys, same as the usuals. You got basic unit, elite unit, and a boss unit. These guys again focus on zoning players, but they also do a lot of AoE damage, specifically based around electricity. Their boss unit is capable of inflicting massive damage over a short amount of time, but majority of which is in a close radius, so if you can try and predict when it's going to happen, the survivors can avoid most of the damage. The elite unit is capable of splitting up into 2, but it leaves themselves exposed when they do a little split. But once they have split, they can do a lot more damage. They are quite weak, but they can inflict a lot of damage in the process if you can't take them out quickly. The basic units are capable of just inflicting a lot of damage if they group up on people, but they also have the ability to self-destruct, causing small AoE damage, which can also damage players if they're not careful. Okay, so that's all the demons covered. Now we're going to go into the gameplay mechanics, what you need to be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, what you should focus on the most, and just overall how to win games and have fun. Okay, so when you load into a game as your demon of choice, you're going to be spawned in at a random part of the map. The map itself is incredibly huge, and you are not guaranteed to find where the survivors are spawned straight away. First thing that you want to try and focus on is getting as much energy as you can, which, if you can see at the bottom of the screen, there's a little red bar that's slowly filling up. the more that you kind of go towards these little red orbs. These allow you to interact with the game more, allow you to place traps, possess people, and spawn in units. This is your kind of priority at the beginning of the game, to try and get as much as this energy as possible. And then once you've got enough, you want to be going around to the traps, specifically that are located around the Kandorian Dagger and also the lost pages of the Necronomicon. You want to try and defend those areas by setting up traps at strategic points. These will then allow you to focus more on pressuring the survivors and not have to worry about setting traps up later on in the game as the survivors advance towards those objectives. Okay, so once you've got your traps set up and the basic defenses around your objectives are complete, you want to try and locate where the humans have spawned by looking on your map. On the keyboard, you press the M button. I'm assuming on console, you'd press start. And you would try and find the area that you think is furthest away from you. That's kind of where I've had the best luck. But I don't know if it's a guaranteed spawn every time or if it's completely random. But either way, you want to be going towards different little locations on the map to try and find these survivors before they manage to get all the pages of the map that leads them towards the lost pages of the Necronomicon and the Kandarian Dagger. Okay, so you also have a skill point upgrade that you can upgrade throughout the game as you acquire more threat level. You acquire this by interacting with the map, by placing traps, possessing people and items, and also by collecting energy and scaring survivors. The more points you collect and the higher threat level you get more points to put into the skill system, and you become a stronger demon. And eventually it should help you to be able to beat the survivors. Okay, so once you've got the beginning game out of the way and done with, and you've located the survivors, you need to start harassing them and actively trying to stop them from completing their objectives. The first objective that they have to complete is acquiring the 3 pieces of the map, which allows them to locate the lost pages of the Necronomicon and also the Kandarian Dagger. These locations are completely randomized and they're not always the same. You don't know where they are, and the only way for you to locate them is to find the survivors that are on the way to get them. Your best bet in order to try and fight the survivors is to wait for them to be separated, try and pick them off. You also have to take into account what kind of class of people that they're playing. Usually there's one healer in the group, and there's also quite a tanky person in the group. The best bet is to go for the healer, make sure they can't get their health back, and you just pressure them and take their health down as much as you can, make them use their healing equipment, their amulets, and also make them waste their ammo. Okay, so if all's gone well, you've killed all the survivors, you've managed to stop them from collecting all the pieces of the map, and they haven't been able to complete any of their objectives. But in the likely case that they have completed the map and they are on the way to the objectives, you now need to think about defending and stopping them in their tracks to be able to acquire the pieces that they need in order to defeat the main bosses. First location that the survivors need to visit is the lost pages of the Necronomicon. This is going to be highlighted with a blue page now that they have all the pieces of the map in order to find it. Once they go to this place, they have a small little interaction menu that they have to interact with in order to summon a circle, and then they have to defend this circle until the timer is up. It's your job to try and stop them before that circle gets filled. Otherwise, once the circle gets filled, you will be exorcised from the area and then forced to spawn 200 to 300 meters away from your last location. Once they've then got the Necronomicon, they make their way to the Kandarian Dagger. This is also the same prospect as collecting the pages of the Necronomicon. You have to, the survivors have to fill up a bar, defend the bar for a certain amount of time, and then they can collect the dagger. Again, it's your job to try and stop them before they can collect, before they can fill that bar up and collect the dagger. Otherwise, you'll be expelled from the area again and forced to spawn 200 to 300 meters away, and then make your way towards the bosses. again, it's your job to defend these guys and stop the survivors from destroying the Dark Ones with their dagger. If, however, they do manage to destroy the bosses, it's not all hope is lost, as you can still be given a final objective to protect, which is destroying the Necronomicon. This has to be done by your own hand, and for some reason AI units can't hit the book, but I guess that's kind of a bit of a balance issue, because if they were allowed to do it, it would just allow you to focus attacks on the survivors and stop and zone them away from hitting the book. The survivors have to stop you from hitting the book and destroying it, but you don't actually have to destroy the book if you don't want to. You can still focus your attacks on the survivors, assuming they have low enough health, and you can destroy them before the timer runs out. If you can manage this, this will result in you getting a victory, and the game will be won in your favour. Okay, so just quickly, you also have a skill tree that you can use to make your demons better. In order to go into this, you go into collections, and you also have skill points that you put into your skill tree to make your demons better. In order to get more skill points, you spend your spirit points and convert them into the skill points, and then you navigate your the skill tree, further leveling up your demon, unlocking more skills throughout the skill tree. Okay, so hopefully that covers everything that you need to know about the killer. If I missed anything, feel free to put it in the comments. Let me know. Also, let me know how you're enjoying playing the demon. What your thoughts / improvements would be to the demon experience. And also, if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and comment and subscribe if you want to. And let me know if you want to see more.